All right, today's going to be kind of a shorter analysis of the evolution of a song, Mute the Trial. I'm back into manic artist mode right now. I got ahead of myself and I did kind of put the whole album together over the course of yesterday, last night, and this morning. I found this program. I had to pay for it. I think it was like $50. Yeah, it's called Sound Boost. Maybe I'll share it because it did a pretty good job of mastering some of these MP3s. If you go to their Play Store and search Sound Boost, it'll probably come up. So I'll give them some love. I did have to pay for it, but I think it was worth it to at least make the levels better. So I did that last night till like 2 in the morning. Actually, I don't know if that's going to come up, but I'll share the link for that if you also make music like I make it and you want to make it sound better. Yeah, it's just called Sound Boost. Audio mastering, Sound Boost, music and audio. And I just happened to find it. I previewed it for free and then I was like, all right, this is pretty good. And yeah, it's just called Sound Boost. I don't know who created it or what company. I don't know if they even list that. So that's what I did the last 2 nights. I'm going to have more of a discussion about this process tomorrow, and I'll share the entire album, the master versions, and I did change one of the songs because I didn't like how it sounded. The last song, the Antichrist Part 2, I'll just keep it short like that. I changed the music completely to change it to a different mellower vibe, and I'll share that. I'll share all the new mastered versions for free on my Substack because I still think this is a demo. I don't think it's worthy of being put on Bandcamp. Unless people tell me it is, then maybe I could sell it for $1, $2, or whatever, and see if people will be interested in it. It's kind of cool. I will mention from that mastering software I got called Sound Boost. You're able to put like what do I want this to sound like after the mastering? So I put in Patti Smith, I put in Velvet Underground, Springsteen, Brian Eno, mellow ambient, and I kind of got different effects like that. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know it was able to do stuff like that. What I was going to do also is just put the entire 6 songs together on one big MP3 so you can listen to it without any skips. So I might do that tomorrow. I don't know. I have to download something else that I can merge all these MP3s and add silence and fading. But I won't talk too much about that. Other than it's kind of a magical thing. Music really is magic. It sounds like some Disney stupid cheesy analysis, but it really is a magical, hypnotizing, commandeering of your vocal of your auditory senses and anything else, your emotional sensibilities, your ability to almost meditate if you're listening to certain music. It is a magical substance. I don't think that's really said enough. I think the people who master stuff and engineers, sound engineers, are really like magicians. How they can manipulate so many layers of audio files. Like I don't know how they did it with Siamese Dream and stuff like that. Siamese Dream supposedly had like 30, 40 layers, and it was pretty crazy like that. I don't know how you would even begin a process like that. It would be very interesting to see how that works. But yeah, it's cool. I'm really just going to talk about the song today so I don't get ahead of myself. But it was kind of a manic thing. I was up till 2 in the morning trying to mess around with this audio software, this mastering to make the levels sound better, to make my voice sound less forward. I kind of put it back in the mix. And some of the songs just needed something different, though. Also, the order of the songs I'll talk about tomorrow because I kind of took some time to rearrange everything. It's about 39 minutes right now, and that's probably where it's going to stay. So it's about a 40-minute album, 6 songs. Some of them are 4 minutes. Excuse me. Some of them are around 10 minutes, 8 minutes. And it came to about 40 minutes long, so I'm happy with that. That's always my vision, to have shorter songs, or sorry, shorter number of songs instead of having like 14 songs that are 3 minutes each or 4 minutes each. I'd rather have 6, 7, 8 songs that I really can work on and keep it to that minimal lyrical basis because I don't really like lyrics anymore, or I never really did. The less songs you have, there's fewer chances of being pretentious. There's fewer chances of just repeating yourself, being stale, redundant. Unless you're just a punk band and you're making like 1, 2 minute songs, and it's kind of hard to be full of yourself as a punk band like that. But I'm writing all this spoken word poetry that could, in the back of my head, I'm like, is this pretentious? Am I like so fake right now, man? I'm pretending I'm some hipster from the 70s hanging out with Patti Smith and the Velvet Underground, because that's not really me at all. I just want to appreciate the music and try to add something to the flavor. That's all. So that's where I'm at. All right, so let's talk about the song for today. I believe it's Evolution of a Song, number 15, maybe. Let me check that. Yeah, we've been flying through these every day for the last 2 weeks or so. And we are on Evolution of a Song, number 15, and it's called Mute the Trial. I wanted to add some vocal stuff like I talked about yesterday, but I didn't like how I didn't like the melodies that I was developing because I didn't even know how the song went yet. It's different when you actually compose something compared to what you hear in your head, so you have to keep that in mind for future occurrences. But I'm pretty happy how it came out. It's all spoken word. So this album only has like one little melody throughout the whole thing. Throughout 40 minutes, it's just my spoken word poetry. Which is why there's always that hesitation that you'll come off as pretentious. But I think I had enough comedy and self-ridicule, like Rodney Dangerfield, No Respect. I put enough of that in there because that is me. I'm trying to be myself, honestly. This is a long song. It took me a while to get through this, to develop the music last night, because it was totally different than what I thought when I was making vocalizations on my voice memo app, just going do 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 do, all that stupid Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, all those stupid riffs that I just mouth. It didn't work for this song. I had to develop a mellow flavor, and it's just one layer. It's just one layer, and when I mastered it, I think it added some reverb. So, not so much on my voice, but on the music. So, I think it sounds alright. The levels are okay. It's long, and it's maybe 6 or 7 minutes, but I repeated it, or recited it pretty quickly. First, it was like 10 minutes, and I was like, alright, no one's going to want to listen to this drone for 10 minutes, so I had to shorten things and just get right to the poetry to keep people hopefully interested. Mute the Trial. I don't know who I'm going to share that inspired this song. I'm not really sure yet. I want to think of a song to read before I end this, because this is going to be a very short evolution of a song. I'll share the song, write a little bit, and maybe find some other bands to share. I shared a lot yesterday. I feel like I shared everything. Maybe I could dig into Thurston Moore, his solo album from last year or 2 years ago. Because that's the New York scene. Maybe even Ramones or other spoken word I haven't thought of. Television, maybe I'll find a song from them. And I do want to incorporate some newer stuff too, but I really don't know what to put anymore. Might have to do some digging into um, I don't know, some modern bands that kind of fit this kind of genre. Spoken word stuff. I don't really know where to go at this point with it to share stuff because I've shared so many things. Patti Smith, Velvet Underground, Springsteen. I think I shared, yeah, yesterday. Even U2 and Sonic Youth. So I don't really know what else to really share at this point. Maybe I'll read something from Television because I do like that. I think Marquee Moon was a song that just instantly blew my mind, man. I watched that movie CBGB from some years ago, and yeah, I really like that riff. It's one of the coolest riffs, and I like the guy's voice. I'm not really sure what else to. Maybe I'll even check out that Suicide Band, even though I didn't really like them. I said I would listen to them again, and I'll try to find a modern band that fits this profile. Or yeah, I haven't shared Swans yet, so I'll pick maybe um, maybe some Swan side project, or I don't know yet, because they've been around since the '80s, but they're still doing stuff, and I'll try to think of other stuff as well. Um, I really have nothing planned to talk about other than this was a weird experience. I was trying to schedule it, but sometimes your brain, or at least for me, my artistic brain will take over. I was going to try to do like a two-a-day workout yesterday during the Phillies game, and I was listening to my tracks while I was starting to work out, and then the next 4 hours, I just sat in the garage, developed new music, developed new ideas, and spoke the words last night around midnight in the garage. In the garage. And that's just how it came. Yeah, maybe I'll share Weezer. I don't think Weezer is really a part of this style, but that's a big part of my childhood, at least. I remember, like in seventh or eighth grade, we pretended to play instruments and played Buddy Holly in like the school talent show or some event. It was really stupid. I'll share In the Garage because that's a great song that doesn't get enough love, I think. And the fuzz, yeah, Weezer has a cool fuzz that it's not grunge because it's so happy. It's like joy as an act of resistance. The Idols, you can be happy and still rock out. And yeah, the Blue Album is still a no skip for me. I could go through every song and never skip anything. It's one of those albums that even Pinkerton, those two just yeah totally hit it. And then I kind of not that they got like they turned into a boring band, but I kind of lost focus with Weezer through those years. Yeah, so I'll share In the Garage. Yeah, because that's a pretty cool fuzzy guitar track. And actually, it's Say It Ain't So that I really don't like, or not that I don't like it. It's just the song that I might skip because I've heard it too many times. But In the Garage and Holiday, let's go away for a while, you and I, to a strange and distant land. That's such a good melody, man. Like that'll be the song I recite today, since I don't even know if I'm singing the lyrics right. It's such a good melody, Holiday by Weezer. Let's go away for a while, you and I, to a strange and distant land, where they speak no word of truth, but we don't understand anyway. Holiday far away to stay on a holiday far away. Let's go today in a heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. Don't bother to pack your bags or your map. We won't need them where we're going. We're going where the wind is blowing, not knowing where we're going to stay. Holiday far away to stay on a holiday far away to stay on a holiday. Let's go today in a heartbeat. We write a postcard to our friends and family in free verse. We will write a postcard to our friends and family in free verse on the road with Kerouac. We will write a postcard to our friends sheltered in his bivouac. I don't know what that word is. And family in free verse. On this road we'll never die. Let's go away for a while, you and I, to a strange and distant land, where they speak no word of truth, but we don't understand anyway. There you go. Pretty simple, but I like it. Underrated. I don't hear people talk about this song, and I don't think it was ever on the radio. Alright,
Bivouac.
bivouac is a temporary campsite or shelter used by soldiers, climbers, and hikers. I've never been a soldier, climber, or not really a hiker. I started to get into it a little bit a couple years ago. So I never heard that word. Bivouac?
Bivouac.
Bivouac. Bivouac. Alright, learned something new. Thanks, Weezer. Thanks for opening up my brain. Yeah, so there you go. I don't have much else to talk about. That's Holiday by Weezer. That's really nothing to do with the music on this album, but I just had to pick something, and I didn't feel like, oh, that's how I'll justify it. You can make fuzziness happy, and I don't know if I really accomplished that on any songs on this album. It's more mellow, introspective, spoken word stuff with no melodies at all. And even though some of the songs sound fuzzy, it's not guitar fuzz. It's just whatever synthesizer mode I'm going in to add some maybe shoegaze layers, ambient stuff. That's what I'm going for on this album. In my younger years, I might just get all excited to be like, oh, this is the greatest shit ever. I'm going to put it all on Bandcamp. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to maybe listen to it over the next week, see what I might be able to improve in terms of the audio quality, and then go from there, work on something else. It's going to be harder to do some of the songs where I have to sing. I'm going to really have to push those out and find a way to sing that's normal to me in whatever register, whatever key is my natural voice. But this has been a good experience every day doing this, and it got a little bit obsessive towards the last 2 days where this is all I was thinking about, really. I'm still trying to get to the West Coast. I still want to get a job. I just don't know how to go about that to get a job that suits me. I tried Costco a couple of nights ago, all over the West Coast, New Mexico, California. I figured they're pretty good, established company. It'd be pretty stable employment. And that's kind of where my head's at. But this took over my psyche. I couldn't think of anything else yesterday. I just kept trying to make the song sound better so I could be happy, at least to listen to it myself and see what I can improve and what I'm weak at, what I am good at. I think I do have some good lyrical judgment and some weird stream of consciousness stuff where it would be hard to call me pretentious. I don't think so. I don't like some of my delivery sometimes. I'll hear my voice and I'm like, man, I sound so stupid. I sound so fake or whatever. But in terms of the lyrics, I think I'm pretty happy with everything I've spoken. I don't think there's anything too radical or too redundant or too maybe it is like that beatnik stream of consciousness. So I wouldn't say this is really original, but I'm just talking about stuff that like a form of therapy in a way, and trying to add some humor, trying to add some um, themes that other people can connect to. Because I really don't want to write stuff anymore like this. I just wrote that June essay that was like a 30-minute or 16-minute stream of consciousness when I read it. And sometimes I just get in that mode. I don't know. I don't know what's harder, to write a screenplay, to write the stream of consciousness, to write a short story. Probably novel will be the hardest thing, because it takes years and years to write this novel, and then it probably doesn't even go anywhere financially. But there's a different mode I get in when I'm in screenplay mode, which I haven't been in for like 2 or 3 years. When I'm in songwriting mode, which is where I'm at now. Um, when I'm in music composition mode, they're all different levels of how to put your best original voice out there, and it's a difficult transition to make like that. But I think I have enough humor and dark comedy, some light comedy. It doesn't have to be all about the darkness. You could have crazy shit like this album title, or not the song titles I use, like song number 6, the Antichrist final thoughts regarding all those darn relentless words, or that crazy Russian novel about the prince dude that provides idiots worldwide some much needed solace. So yeah, I'm trying to poke fun at myself and people who would accuse me of trying to be some pretentious poet. Like, I don't want to be that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to make cool music and have good enough lyrics that people would not laugh at me and be like, all right, I can see where this guy's coming from. And that's all I'm really looking for. And I never knew what this stuff would be. As I was writing this album back in, what, October? Yeah, I shared this album, Tribute Velvet, the lyrics, on October 14th, 2025. And I didn't expect myself to be doing this right now. I'm just like, I'm just gonna write stuff. These are songs. I did speak these out loud, I think. And I was like, in the future, I can make these into something. And I guess that's the next part of the process, is to make a demo like this. But what do I do with it now? I don't know. I don't know what to really do with these MP3s that I just created and spent the money to kind of master them to make them sound listenable, and go from there and see what happens. I'm pretty happy with the finished product myself, but I'm listening on headphones. I don't even know how good they are. They're not like professional studio grade headphones, so I don't know how other people will interpret the levels of my voice and music, because this was not done with the multi-track. This was done with a drone. I either looped it, or the last few songs I would just play something for 10 minutes and then add something to it, and then add something to it. And I would have to use the same file, so it's gonna degrade the quality. I know that. Which is why I had to spend the money on the mastering software to make it kind of sound a little bit more like a song, with some rawness, of course, but you can make it sound listenable. That's what I'm terming it, to be a demo like that. And yeah, I guess that's everything. I did speak for almost 30 minutes right now. Um, yeah, so I made a list not too long ago of albums that I thought I could do myself. And I listed this one as number 1, and then Grocery Store Assassins as number 2. But I really don't know if I can do those, because that's a punk album. And I can't mimic punk music unless I really do it like in a no wave or avant garde type of way, like going back to the Wesley Willis thing. Grocery Store Assassins would be a really fun album to try to do, but I gotta scream, I gotta act like I'm Jello Biafra or Henry Rollins, or, more hardcore stuff like that. So I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to pick something else at some point that I think I could do with my limited capabilities right now. I'm not really sure what direction I'm going to go in next, but yeah, I got too many other things to think about than what I'll be doing next. But this was a good experience. I'll talk about it more tomorrow in detail when I share the entire album and the track I'm sharing now, Mute the Trial, is the mastered version. So you'll get an idea. Hopefully it sounds better than the other ones I shared. And I did have to change some things. That's why I was up till 2 in the morning. And I still woke up around 6 just because I was motivated to finish this. I got a weird thing like that. When I start a project, it's kind of hard for me to think about or to prioritize other things. I know my main priority is getting a job so I can move to the West Coast. But I don't know what's out there for me viably. Uh, I'm trying to just be barista or work at a Costco or a grocery store. Enough money that I can keep doing this and enhance my experience. Make enough money so I can go, balls out, buy my land, and do that whole Kickstarter project myself. But when I get into musician mode and I'm pretending I'm a producer, last night and this morning, I'm like, oh, the vocals are too low on this. Like, I can only do so much, though, is what I'm saying. I can't make it sound like a real Butch Vig production. I can only do whatever my phone is allowing me to do, and that's fine for now. I'm not complaining. Not everyone has a phone. Not everyone has the ability to make music like this. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying my dream is to do more than this, to make it actually financially viable so I could sell this and hopefully people would want to buy it. That's where I'm at because without touring, it's hard to get people to know who you are. Um, Maybe it's easier today than it was 20, 30 years ago when Smashing Pumpkins had a tour and tour and tour in the 90s, nonstop, Europe, across America, whatever it was. I'm sure bands still have to do that to survive, but I'm more just concerned with putting out music on Bandcamp as digital ambient work, shoegaze, whatever I can do myself. It's going to be hard to do punk rock with just my, small synthesizer app on my phone, unless I can develop my own style of punk rock. Uh, I wrote Grocery Store Assassins in the style of Dead Kennedys and more hardcore stuff. And it is kind of about COVID stuff, but in more of a punk rock fashion. So it's another COVID inspired album of punk rock songs, very short and angsty. I don't know what I could do, but I'll have to experiment later with that if I think I could do it any justice. First impressions are important. The first song on an album, whatever. And I'll talk about order of songs more tomorrow because that's really interesting to me. It's another kind of magic of how do you order an album to make people emote throughout the 30, 40 minutes and change their mood up and down and to provide some climax, catharsis. I don't know. Good albums do that. They do have a good flow. I think that was Neil Young's big thing to make sure that the album flowed from song to song, to night. That album's pretty awesome. I found that album at a thrift store for like $1. It was like one of the best thrift store finds I ever got. Tonight's the Night, Neil Young. That's something else I'll share since I just mentioned that. Yeah, that's all for today. I'm at 30 minutes. I did not expect to talk for this long because I'm still kind of in a haze. Tonight's the night. I think I shared Albuquerque before, so I won't share that one. But that's all for today. Tomorrow, I'm just going to kind of repeat myself from some of the things I'm talking about right now and share the finished demo project. It's not the complete how I would want this album to go out to the public, because I'm not a perfectionist, but I want it to sound better than I've done with the hisses and the pops and some of the weird stuff in the background. I'm sure it could sound better with different technology. Going back to that Laurie Anderson, her new album, she kind of went into that. Some of her spoken word parts, she's talking about technology, how she relies on it, but it also can lead to, you know, a lot of negative things as well. There's a lot for me to catch up on in terms of this year's music and just my to listen to list. I keep adding and adding stuff. Maybe today I'll finally get to David Bowie Low. I feel bad because I don't own these albums, and if I listen to them on, excuse me, on a YouTube stream, I don't know if that's considered like stealing. People can upload a video of like the vinyl playing of David Bowie Low. And is that like a copyright thing? I thought YouTube was all strict about that. I don't know, maybe some of the money goes to David Bowie or that record company. I don't know how it works. So I don't want to be accused of doing anything like that to hurt an artist, even though, I'm sure David Bowie did very well when he was alive, and his estate, I'm sure they're still, wherever his proceeds go, I'm sure he's still selling a lot of albums. But yeah, I'll try to find it because I don't have any service right now. Spotify, Amazon. I don't want to have a lot of monthly charges because I don't have an income and it makes me feel stupid. So once I get a job, maybe I could get Spotify back for $10 a month, or another one. Bandcamp is the best, but you don't get David Bowie on Bandcamp. You don't get a lot of the major ones. You have to, go buy their albums. Well, maybe I'll do that since I seem to be buying stuff lately. Maybe I'll buy David Bowie Low if it sparks my interest, because I think I'm gonna like that album. But then again, yeah, I'd rather maybe support some independent artists. But all right, I'm done. I'm done rambling about nothing. Thanks for listening. Go listen to Weezer. If you grew up in that generation, I'm 44, so if I was probably like in seventh grade when the Blue Album came out. I was like 13 probably. Yeah, go listen to the Blue Album. It is a classic for a reason. Whether you like that music or not, the production is just so good. Somebody famous produced that. This is the last thing I'll look up, I swear. My brain will just go on and on. Who produced Weezer Blue Album? It's somebody pretty famous. Is it a dude from the Cars? Ocasek, maybe? Who produced Weezer Blue Album? There you go. I had some retention there, yeah. Rick Ocasek, the front man of the Cars. Who a lot of people say Heartbeat City and other ones are like some of the best produced new wave albums. Speaking of, I want to make a new wave album as my next project, but that's in the future. Right now, I have a lot of albums to catch up on that would take the next 10 to 20 years, so I don't want to write anything new unless I just get crazy inspiration. In my notepad on my phone, I have 10 songs for my new wave album, Down for the Counterfeit, which I really like that title. I'm starting to fill in the lyrics. I'm looking at it now. Some of them are almost done, I think. during the day, if I read something or I just get some inkling, I'll write something down. And over the last month, I filled up almost 10 songs. I thought it was a cooler way to approach this. I've never done it like that, really, where I'm not just looking at a blank page, like words come to me, words. I'm just, whenever I have something cool, some line or some word I like, I'll just add it to this album. And I also have an idea for another punk album called Sexy Tumors, because I designed this visual doodle months ago called Sexy Tumors. I just thought it was a cool punk band or a name for a punk album. So if I ever get any more punk songs in my head, I'll start adding to that. But I just started this one maybe 2 or 3 days ago, so it's totally blank at this point. Uh, the inspiration comes and goes for certain types of music. Like I've only written one funk album this year. I forget what it's called actually, but I don't have a lot of funk stuff going on in my head right now. I would have to get into that zone, and because I love funk music, Kool and the Gang, Parliament, all that stuff. All right, thanks for listening. That's the end for today. What is today? Wednesday, July 1st. So, yeah, have a good day. Listen to some Weezer today. That's your homework. I'd recommend the Blue Album, but, I'm not a Weezer crazy fan, super fan, so I don't know their new stuff at all. I don't know any of their stuff after Pinkerton enough to really talk about it. But the Blue Album and Pinkerton I grew up with, and they're both, I think, perfect albums. But go listen to the Blue one. That's going to stand the test of time. And the next generation, the Blue Album's always going to be there on the radio. Almost like the Beatles. That's what I kind of think of Weezer as. Like they were the Beatles of the 90s. When everyone else was getting kind of dark and cryptic, and even that Harvey Danger, that flagpole shitta, Harvey Danger. Weezer was like that happy. I'm not gonna say sophisticated because that sounds like they're a bunch of snobby, pretentious people. Well, I don't think so. I just think they write fun, catchy melodies. I don't care about their image or whatever. The songs are just really brilliant, and the production is really brilliant. Go listen to the Blue Album. Maybe I will too today to bring back some nostalgia. And all right, thanks for listening.